Hey travelers, ready to shake things up? Today, we're exploring a topic that's as intriguing as it is, well, awkward, countries where Americans are not welcome in 2024. Yep, these are the places where showing up with a loud howdy might get you a raised eyebrow or even a side eye from customs. Whether it's due to complicated visa processes, strict cultural norms, or political tension thicker than grandma's gravy at Thanksgiving, some places just aren't rolling out the red carpet for Americans. Now, before you toss your travel bucket list out the window, don't worry. We're breaking down the visa hurdles, decoding local customs so you don't accidentally offend someone by waving left-handed, and giving you the scoop on any current travel bans. And here's the twist. For those bold adventurers who still want to visit, we'll show you the jaw-dropping places worth seeing if you manage to crack the code and get in. Think of this as your travel manual for playing hard to get with international borders. So buckle up, take notes, and prepare for some laughs as we navigate these travel no-go zones. Let's dive in. Venezuela. Now, before you pack your bags, hold up. This isn't your average travel guide. We're talking about a country so stunning it makes your jaw drop and so complicated it makes you wonder if your jaw can stay that way forever. Buckle up because this is a wild one. Let's start with the good stuff because, oh boy, Venezuela has plenty of it. Picture this. The majestic Angel Falls, the tallest waterfall in the world, thundering down in Canema National Park like something out of a movie. Or how about the snow-capped peaks of the Andes Mountains? And for the beach bums, there's Isla de Margarita, a tropical resort island where the sunsets are so perfect you'd think they were filtered by nature itself. But here's where the plot thickens. While Venezuela is a visual masterpiece, the reality on the ground is a different story. The country has been stuck in a political and economic crisis for several years now. Since August 2023, this crisis has driven over 7.7 million people to pack their bags and leave. That's like everyone in New York City saying, "Nope, I'm out of here." And if that isn't enough to make you double-check your travel plans, the U.S. State Department has Venezuela marked as level 4, do not travel. Why? Well, they have a laundry list of reasons: wrongful detentions, terrorism, kidnapping, civil unrest, arbitrary enforcement of local laws, crime, and healthcare facilities that are, let's just say, not great. Basically, if you decide to go, you better be prepared for anything, like anything. And if you're feeling brave and want to go anyway, don't just grab your passport and jump on a plane. Nope, you'll need a visa, and getting one isn't exactly a walk in the park. Arrive without one, and you're at high risk of indefinite detention without consular access. Yep, you heard that right, indefinite. That's the kind of commitment nobody's looking for. So, how do you get a visa? Get ready for some hoops. You'll need to visit a Venezuelan embassy. The catch? The one in Washington, D.C. isn't open for applications, so you'll have to fly to another country that has a working Venezuelan embassy. Oh, and make sure to bring a pile of paperwork, valid passport, passport photos, a completed application, your entire travel itinerary, and proof of accommodation for every single night of your stay. Sounds exhausting? You bet it is. Now, is it worth it? That's the million-dollar question. Venezuela's culture is vibrant, full of music, dance, and flavors that will wake up your taste buds faster than a double espresso. And yes, the landscape will make your Instagram pop. But with the current political and economic instability, you need to take every precaution to make sure your stay is more paradise and less, "I need an escape plan." Iran. This country is like that intriguing friend who's full of surprises but comes with a lot of warnings. From its breathtaking mosques to its rich history and vibrant culture, Iran is a place that could easily charm any traveler. But if you're an American, hold up. There's a long list of conditions and cautionary tales that come with a visit to this enigmatic country. Buckle up, folks, because we're diving into what makes Iran beautiful, complex, and let's be honest, a tad intimidating for U.S. citizens. First, let's talk about what makes Iran so unbelievably beautiful. There's the Shah Abbasi Mosque with its intricate blue tiles that look like they were crafted by artisans with a passion for detail that borders on obsession. Then there's Gizem Beach, where the lush forest meets the Caspian Sea. It's like nature's way of saying, "I can do beaches and mountains, watch me." And don't forget the Sheikh Lutfolla Mosque, which feels like stepping into a kaleidoscope. Iran is a visual feast that you'll never forget. But here's where it gets dicey. Ever since the 1979 Iranian Revolution and the hostage crisis, the relationship between the U.S. and Iran has been, let's say, rockier than a mountain trail. Add decades of nuclear disputes and U.S. sanctions, and you've got a political climate that's colder than a New York winter. The U.S. Department of State currently has Iran listed as level 4, do not travel. Why? Oh, just the usual: terrorism, civil unrest, kidnapping, and the cherry on top, arbitrary arrest of U.S. citizens. And if that's not enough to make you reconsider, independent travel for Americans isn't even an option. Yep, you heard right. No solo exploring, it's all government-approved tours or bust. Thinking about applying for a visa? Get comfy, you'll be waiting. Applications can take weeks, sometimes longer, just to get into an embassy. And then you might be playing the waiting game for days or weeks to see if it's even approved. And when you do get the green light, your itinerary isn't up to you. Nope. The tour company calls the shots, and they'll plan your trip down to the last bazaar visit. Now let's talk about what happens once you're there. Iran's customs and laws are not what most Americans are used to. Drinking alcohol? Illegal. Public displays of affection? Also illegal. And don't even think about deviating from the dress code. Women must cover their hair, arms, and legs, while men should dress modestly. Forgetting these rules isn't just a fashion faux pas, it could land you in serious trouble. And photography? Snap the wrong picture near a government building and you could face espionage charges, which in fact carries the death penalty. Also, think before you tweet. Insulting the government or the Muslim faith, even on social media, is punishable by imprisonment. And if you're part of the LGBTQ+ community, know that same-sex relationships are not only illegal, but carry severe punishments, including death. Financially, things aren't much easier. Forget about using your credit or debit cards. Non-Iranian cards don't work here. You'll need to bring US dollars and exchange them for rials. Oh, and there's no Western Union or bank transfers. If you log into your US bank account online while in Iran, it might get flagged or frozen due to sanctions. So, with all these challenges, why would anyone go? Because Iran's culture, people, and history are incredible. The hospitality is unmatched, and the food? Chef's kiss. Think saffron-infused dishes and pomegranates that taste like sunshine. And the architecture? It'll make you question why you ever thought your local library was impressive. If you're bold enough to navigate the red tape and respect the customs, Iran can be a life-changing experience. Just make sure you do all the research and take all the precautions. Syria. Now, before you think, why on earth would I want to go there? Hear me out. Syria is a country of unparalleled beauty with ancient ruins, awe-inspiring architecture, and desert landscapes that look straight out of an epic movie. But here's the twist. Visiting Syria as an American is like trying to walk into a concert without a ticket, backstage pass, or a good disguise. So let's dive into the allure, the red tape, and the big ol' warnings. First, let's talk about the good stuff. Syria was once a jewel of the Middle East, home to the legendary ruins of Palmyra, where the Temple of Bel stood as a testament to the grandeur of ancient civilizations. And the Saladin Citadel. It's the kind of fortress that makes you feel like you've stepped into a medieval epic. And if you're looking for tranquility, well, pre-war tranquility, there's the sweeping Syrian desert, a place where sunsets light the sky on fire, and the historic Umayyad Mosque, one of the oldest and most revered mosques in the world. But, and it's a big but, Syria isn't just a land of ancient wonders, it's a country devastated by over a decade of brutal civil war. Let's be real for a second. The civil war has left much of Syria in ruins. Whole cities have been decimated, millions have been displaced, and a massive humanitarian crisis is still ongoing. Infrastructure like housing, medical facilities, schools, and utilities severely damaged. Phone and internet, about as reliable as trying to use a cell signal at a concert in a concrete basement. It's tough. The U.S. State Department isn't playing around when they give Syria a level 4 do not travel warning. Why? Because if there was a danger bingo card, Syria would hit every square: terrorism, civil unrest, armed conflict, and the ever-lovely risk of kidnapping or wrongful detention. So if you're thinking about testing your luck, remember that it's not the slot machine at Vegas. It's a high-stakes gamble. Now here's a plot twist. Until 2023, getting a tourist visa to Syria as a U.S. citizen was like searching for a unicorn in Times Square. Impossible. But now, Syria has cracked the door open, allowing Americans to apply. How do you do it? Well, step 1 is finding a Syrian embassy in a third country, because the embassy of the Syrian Arab Republic in Washington, D.C. has been shut down since 2014. So, if you're committed and slightly reckless, pack your bags for a pre-Syria trip to another country just to submit your visa paperwork. Don't forget to budget for patience, because after you submit your application, it's a waiting game that could take weeks. If you somehow clear all these hurdles and get the golden ticket, know that the challenges don't stop. Communications are spotty at best, with phone and internet being hit or miss. You need to be hyper aware of local laws and customs, not just to blend in, but to stay safe. And there's no margin for error here. The risks are real, and so is the potential for danger. So why would anyone want to go to Syria? The country's cultural depth, its resilient people, and its rich history draw those who are looking for more than a vacation. They're looking for an experience that will stick with them forever. But if you do decide to make this leap, do it with your eyes wide open, a solid plan, and all the caution you can muster. Saudi Arabia. This is a country with jaw-dropping heritage sites, shimmering deserts, and high-tech cities, but it's also a place that's historically been pretty exclusive. But things are changing, and in 2024, there are still a few things you should know before packing your bags. So why would you want to visit Saudi Arabia in the first place? Picture this: the Kaaba in Mecca, the most sacred site in Islam, attracting millions of pilgrims every year. Or how about the At-Taraf World Heritage Site in Diriyah, where history practically whispers to you from ancient clay walls? If you're into breathtaking archaeological sites, Hegra, think Petra's lesser-known, mysterious cousin, will blow your mind. And don't get me started on Al-Balad, the old town of Jeddah, with its coral stone buildings that feel like stepping into a time machine. But historically, getting into Saudi Arabia was about as easy as convincing your dog to let you trim its nails. Until recently, visits were restricted to business, religious pilgrimages, or family meetups. Enter Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who flipped the script in 2019 with a plan to diversify the economy beyond oil and open the gates to tourism. Now, anyone with a sense of adventure can explore this diverse landscape. Will this openness continue? Well, only time, and perhaps the next big policy meeting, will tell. Good news: the visa process is now surprisingly straightforward. Americans can apply for an e-visa that's valid for up to 1 year, allowing multiple entries with each stay lasting up to 90 days. No need for a Harry Potter-level spell to get in, just a few clicks and you're golden. But before you hit book flight, remember visiting Saudi Arabia means being mindful of local customs. Ladies, listen up. If you're under 25, you'll need to be accompanied by a male family member, and modesty is still the name of the game. Think long sleeves and covered legs, not your favorite beach sundress. For everyone, be cautious about social media posts and what you bring into the country. Leave that contraband playlist of banned tunes at home. The U.S. State Department gives Saudi Arabia a Level 2 travel advisory, urging travelers to exercise increased caution due to risks like missile and drone attacks from Yemen and terrorism. Not exactly your typical keep your eyes on your wallet travel tip, right? So, why go through the effort? Because Saudi Arabia is a country that balances rich cultural heritage with futuristic ambitions. It boasts not just 5 UNESCO heritage sites, but also cities that feel like they've been plucked from a sci-fi film. Imagine soaking in the ancient beauty of At-Taraf one day, then marveling at the neon skyline of Riyadh the next. Plus, the landscapes, chef's kiss. The Saudi deserts, mountain ranges, and pristine coastlines are scenes you won't find anywhere else. North Korea. If there's one country that's shrouded in mystery, political tension, and rules tighter than grandma's secret cookie recipe, North Korea is known for its beautiful, haunting landscapes and fascinating sites like the Monument to Party Founding and Kim Il-sung Square. But before you think, hey, that sounds intriguing, let's get real. It's also a place where nuclear threats and political standoffs are as common as rainy days in Seattle. Despite an armistice signed in 1953, technically, the Korean War never ended, leaving North Korea in a perpetual state of "don't mess with me." Since 2017, North Korea has been a no-go for U.S. citizens, thanks to a travel ban initiated during the Trump administration. What sparked it? The tragic story of Otto Warmbier, an American student who went on a guided tour in late 2015. Otto was accused of stealing a propaganda poster. He was detained at Pyongyang International Airport and, after a 1-hour trial, yeah, just 1 hour, sentenced to 15 years of hard labor. But Otto's story took an even darker turn. Shortly after his sentencing in March 2016, he suffered a severe neurological injury from an unknown cause and fell into a coma. He remained in that state for 17 months until he was released back to the U.S., still unresponsive. Sadly, Otto passed away just 6 days after his return. This heartbreaking incident was the tipping point that led to the U.S. government's decision to ban its citizens from visiting North Korea. Before the ban, you could technically visit North Korea, but it was a journey wrapped in serious restrictions. First, you'd need a local guide, essentially your shadow, whose job was to enforce strict government rules. Want to take a picture? Better ask first. Want to chat with a local? Sorry, that's illegal without government permission. The country curated your entire experience down to the last step, making sure you only saw what they wanted you to see. And now, with the ban still firmly in place, North Korea remains an enigma wrapped in red tape and mystery. What goes on behind that iron curtain? Honestly, no one really knows. The few stories and images that trickle out only deepen the intrigue. But between the missile tests, the military parades, and the propaganda that makes even the most creative Hollywood screenwriters pause, North Korea is as off-limits as it gets for Americans. And there you have it, our list of countries where Americans are not welcome in 2024. It's a wild world out there, filled with places that are as breathtaking as they are complex. Whether it's political tension, unique customs, or travel restrictions, navigating these destinations isn't for the faint of heart. But hey, we want to hear from you. Which country surprised you the most? Would you ever consider traveling to any of these places, or do you have your own off-limit spots? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're all about starting the conversation. And if you're into exploring the nitty-gritty of travel, from destinations where you can retire comfortably to those with tricky entry rules, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. We've got more global rankings, travel tips, and destination deep dives coming your way. Thanks for joining us on this eye-opening journey, and remember, travel smart, stay informed, and keep your passport handy. See you in the next adventure.